Hello, hello, and welcome to my favorite day of the week. It's Transformation Tuesday, where we always get to take some time to celebrate all of our amazing, real people who have real results on the reset. And today, we have a rock star in the house, Miss Amanda Page down in Beaufort, North Carolina. And I've had the pleasure of even staying at her amazing home down here. So I've got to know her really well. And today I want you guys to just hear her amazing transformation, her passion for what she's learned, and share her wonderful transformation that she's had along the way. So, Amanda, welcome. We're so
Thank you. It's good
excited.
to be here.
You look like you're somewhere beautiful. Is that actually your background? Because you do live in somewhere beautiful. Is that your
No, it's
backyard?
not. We actually were just issued a tropical storm.
Oh my
Um, uh,
gosh.
Not even an hour before we went live here, so I thought I would just put some happiness in the background there.
You are the calm in the storm, and that is the truth. That's just kind of who you are. But well, Amanda, I'm so proud of you, and I know that you're proud of what you've accomplished, as you should be. But I always love to start this with people learning a little bit about where you were when you started, because the whole reason that we start is because we aren't where we want to be, and we know that there's a better way. So would you just share with us where you were when this whole thing started? Or I know my transformation journey started a long, long time ago in my battle with health. So just tell us where you were when we decided to start this reset.
For this reset, because this actually is my second reset. So I knew that the program worked. I knew that it's successful. And I knew it was just a matter of getting my head right to do it. I was in a really dark place. I lost my brother a little over a year ago. And so I spent the winter months right on the water in Beaufort, freezing cold, just kind of dark, desperate, depressed, and ate my way right through it. Um, as crazy as this sounds, I literally put on 40 pounds in 6 months. So as hard as it is to lose it, it is just you can pack it on really quick and not even know you're doing it. And I knew I was doing it because the longer it went on, the less in the closet I could even put on my body. And that even made me more depressed. And so after that, I just kind of saw where you and Holly had put your heads together and said, let's get some people on board. And I just felt like that was God's opening the highway for me to say, it's time for you to get on your journey. I have been on many, many, many journeys throughout my lifetime. It has been a yo-yo. And so with all that being said, in all of my 56 years of life, I have never showed any before and afters of all the many, many, many weight losses. And I really can't talk about anything unless I really believe in it. And I know it really works. And this really works. And it is fuel for your body, fuel for your health, so that you'll be happy and healthy for many years to come. And I just cannot. It is time. I'm a helper and a fixer. And it is time to be a part of that journey with Miranda and Holly and
Yes.
all the rest of my reset family that has the same direction I have. And
That's
that's
so
me.
awesome.
Hmm.
Well, I know that so many people can relate to going through a stressful time, like when you were grieving the loss of your brother. It's actually a natural response to soothe ourselves. And we have learned to soothe ourselves with oftentimes food that isn't food. And that creates that metabolic chaos that just feels like that downward spiral. Like you said, it makes that depression that you're already feeling from an unfortunate circumstance and a life event, which it could be a death or passing of a family member. It could be any other kind of financial stress, work stress, relationship stress. And we often go into those patterns and our body just responds with that extra weight packing on. And it doesn't feel like we really changed anything, but we can feel that was happening. And I know so many people say, I'm an emotional eater, myself included. I think we all are to some degree. But what do you think was different about this time? Okay. Outside of, we know the program works and it's real food is the only way. But what do you think was the difference maker for you in this? Because if you need to know Amanda, she is about the busiest person I've ever met in my life. She squeezes more in one day in serving and loving other people. This woman is an absolute servant, has a servant's heart. I've been lucky enough to be on the receiving end of that. She's just an amazing host and giver, loves to serve and entertain. And so you had every kind of excuse in the world to not put in the effort to do this. So what were the things that you felt shift in you this time, or what components of the program really helped it become the lifestyle change that it has been for you? And as we do that, I'm gonna bring up these pictures too, okay? So people.
Yeah, so the biggest thing is I had been suffering some issues with my legs, and this had been going on for quite some time. And it was really becoming to the point it was chronic. I could not get to sleep at night unless I went through a leg massaging motion that went on and on and on, and then finally would fall off to sleep. And I just knew that if I went to a doctor, I was going to be diagnosed with some autoimmune. And why would I go through all that when really I know what the protocol is to get on that? And what I knew what I needed to do, they were going to tell me to do anyway. And I knew this. Just because I've done it so many times before in my life. But I can honestly tell you, with all the things that I've done and all the tools that I have used, I knew that I had had the best, fastest, and the longest lasting results with my previous reset about 3 years earlier.
Yes.
Um, and so I knew from that it was going to work and that I could get rid of the inflammation pretty quick. And I did a lot of research along the way to learn that even though you do take off the weight and you do get a lot of the inflammation out, it really fully takes at least a good year for all that to be released from your body. And
Absolutely.
I was so highly addicted to sugar. I believe I had a sugar addiction worse than cocaine addicts. And I am not
Hmm.
saying that to be funny.
Hmm.
It was that bad.
Yeah. And we have also learned too that gluten is a big part of that, and usually gluten and sugar kind of run together. And
Mhm.
so I think we kind of, take that lightly, or like, really? No, because when we eat those things, we don't feel those consequences right away. But when you remove them for a period of time, and in our program we teach you to go gluten-free forever because it is so addictive, that you can feel the difference in how much easier it is to continue to make the right choices. And so oftentimes you don't know that until you can do all of the right things at once. And so for those of you that might be listening that heard her say that she's done this before, what we know is that this has to become a lifestyle. And so, Amanda, you're part of our lifestyle program. And I would love for you to speak to that, because obviously the first time that you did it, there was still some work to be done. You knew that it was the thing that you needed to do. And that is one part of this journey. You have to feel the results. You have to feel the healing. You've got to get that inflammation out of your body. But the next step of that is making it a forever lifestyle. And I know that's where you are because of the way that you live and the way that you talk. Like, you have embodied this. And there is a difference, and that's part of everybody's journey. It's what we like to support in our lifestyle program. It's why it exists. So I would love for you to speak to that, since you have been on a lifelong journey in doing this. You've tried so many things, like so many people have before, myself included. But I would love for you to speak to the power of the lifestyle program that has helped you to not only lose 45 pounds, but continue to keep it off over time.
Yeah, so the lifestyle is key. It is where I missed the opportunity, my first reset, and it'd been 3 years earlier. So I really did know a lot of the material. I knew what to expect, but it'd been 3 years. And to perfect it and do it my best, I really did just kind of rejoin and start from the bottom. But it is lifestyle that does make the difference. It makes you accountable, it makes you step up. And for me personally, because I am a helper and a fixer, it just makes me feel like I have a toolbox full of tools to be that helper and fixer for anybody that comes to me and says, "Help, can you help me?" And I'm
Yes.
like, yep, let me get my toolbox out because I have reset losing phase. I'm now in lifestyle. Toolbox is filling up. And as long as I have my toolbox, if I break down anywhere, I can open it up, get my tools back out, and get my stuff fixed and get back on the highway where I'm supposed to be.
That's so awesome. And what people might not know about you, the people that do know you know this, but the people that don't know you know that you are like the hostess with the mostest. And I mean, like, you win the award, you take the cake, you cook like a champ, you bake all of these amazing things. So, one of the fears that people have when they come to any lifestyle change is they think that it has to be restrictive. What I know you and I both, and Holly included, we want to shout from the rooftops is that is the farthest thing from the truth. It's actually the opposite of that. It's relearning how to have that freedom, to have the things that you want, to know how food affects your life, and to be able to, for lack of a better way to say it, have your cake and eat it too. Like, you
That's
now have a
right.
new relationship with that. So I would love for you to speak to your catering, entertainment, social diva cap that you have about how possible this is for anyone to do this, because of the what we teach in the program and how comprehensive it is.
Miranda, as funny as it is, I actually entered a cooking contest while I was on reset. And I'm thinking, and it was a dessert. This is the one thing I had been the most addicted to was that sugar. And I thought, well, how am I going to win it? I can't taste it. I can't sample it. I thought, well, Amanda, you've done this recipe 100 times. You've been making it 20 years. Just whip it out. Well, funniest thing is, it's a recipe that calls for toffee that I'd always bought in a bag from the grocery store. Well, this time of the year, you couldn't find toffee. It wasn't to be bought. So I thought, oh, well, it's time to go home and learn how to make toffee. So on top of that, I went home, learned how to make toffee, finished up my dessert, won first place, went right by myself, never sampled a thing, and won it by a just big time landslide. Done. And so I just never had the desire to even taste it. I thought if I don't win, it's just I don't win, but I really will win because I won't cave to eat
Mhm.
any of that sugar. I won't use that as an excuse to eat what I don't even need in my body. Now, with
Awesome.
that being said, there is a little guilt because I'm putting it out there for others to choose
Mhm,
to.
mhm, mhm. Well, that's the beautiful part, is that now you're able to create all of these beautiful things because all of you learned on the reset. Because we just went down to North Carolina. It was in the beginning. Was it the beginning of July, middle of July? Gosh, I don't even know. It's been, it seems like it was a year ago and yesterday at the same time. But we went down and she made amazing, beautiful food. Like, every little morsel of it was gone, and it was 1000% healing food, just beautifully crafted. Her kitchen smelled so amazing. I got to be there while she was preparing it. And all of the skills that you've acquired in doing all of that, now that you can apply with knowledge and the tools that you have to educate all of those people, that I mean, it's such a powerful place for you to be in, because when people come to you as a source for food or entertaining, like, you can give them all of the beautiful tools and help them nourish their body and learn at the same time. So that's so powerful. Like, what are some of your favorite dishes that you like to prepare on the reset so everybody's mouths can drool about the amazing things that you prepare in that kitchen of yours?
Well, the easiest one that is super good is the stir fry. And you just learn to use the any of the little sauces that we're allowed to have that are gluten free. And it's like the more you do it, the more you become accustomed to those tastes, and you don't want that stuff that you're not supposed to have anymore. So and I even did a eggplant parmesan,
Oh,
and
that's
that's
so good.
always something that's breaded. Um, but you know what? It doesn't have to be. And honestly, that was I made a reset. I made a losing phase eggplant parmesan, and I made a lifestyle one. So if you were at different phases, you didn't have to feel excluded. And honestly, I don't think you could have much told the difference.
Yeah, they were
It
both
was
amazing.
it was all consumed, and everybody was like, "I need the recipe," and but I really made that up in my head because I wanted it to be 100% with the program. So
Yes.
I look forward to doing a lot more of that as I go. My biggest goal, whenever I did losing phase this time, was to learn how to eat out in a restaurant
Oh,
because
awesome.
that's life and that's real. And I didn't want to be so afraid of that. So I contacted Holly and I said, "Can we please meet out at a restaurant? I want a hands on training course." Absolutely. A lot of the other ladies showed up. We had a great time. I can't tell you what a win win that was. I know
Yes.
personally it was for me, but I'm pretty sure it was for everyone else that attended that day. But it taught me and it gave me a comfort zone to being able to eat out because we will have to do that. And
Yes.
even if you eat at the junkiest restaurant and you're forced to, you will figure out how to make it work the best it can for you. It may not always be the best, but it will be the best with what you have to work with. And that was key for me. And I have really knocked that out of the park. I'll go to a restaurant and I'm like, "Oh, I've done so good. I need to reward myself. I'm going to get this and that." I hadn't had all that stuff in so long. And right before it's time to order, I'll order the right thing.
Yes, good for you. Because it's not a reward to give yourself something that's going to hurt your body. And
That's right.
that is it's a skill. We call that skills for sustainability. It's an important part of our reset method that we teach because if you don't learn a new way to approach the holidays, all of the social situations, restaurants, the way you shop at the store, you have to have a new way to do those things so that when in those decisions, you can make that right decision. And we can do sweets, we can do that some of the time, but we teach you how to do that. And so that you have a new relationship with those foods. So as I'm looking at these pictures, people can see your amazing 45-pound transformation, the loss of all of that inflammation that you were talking about. Tell us about, we like to call them inside the reset non-scale victories. What were some of those biggest non-scale victories that when you look at these pictures of yourself that you can feel the difference of between the before and the after?
First thing that I love the most is my skin, my complexion, the way I glow. Because now, when I do look at myself in the mirror, and I certainly don't mind doing it as much as I did previously for sure, it is like, wow, not only do I feel good inside, but I am glowing outside. And I just feel like that's magical.
It is magical. It's called, health from the inside out. Like, and I don't know that people think of it this way, but when we eat foods that aren't foods and we have that inflammation, so whether it's chronic pain, all skin issues actually are related to, toxic foods because your skin is your largest detox organ. Like your body has to get rid of those toxins somehow. They have to come out, right? And so when we take the toxins and remove that out of your blood is literally cleaner. Your cells are different. The healing takes place at the cellular level. Your skin is naturally going to look better, right? And so I just see you in this white dress. It looks like you also lost 20 years in that first picture to the second one, just absolutely glowing. And I know a lot of people talk about that belly weight, like where does that belly come from? And you were able to look at that tiny little waist all cinched up in that dress. And you really notice it in these pictures here where I believe is that the same skirt that you're wearing in that picture?
It is.
Yeah, that's
Yes. I'm
unbelievable. That's
sure in the
unbelievable.
before it was stretched to the max, but it's falling off of me now. I
Yeah,
still
yeah, I
love
bet. Yeah.
it.
Do you know how many inches that you've lost with that 45 pounds? Because I'm sure it's probably as many inches.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
I did write it down. I did keep track of it. Yeah, but I'm just coming
Yeah.
back on my trip and
Yes.
yeah.
And now you're
So
in a hurricane and you're still showing up to share people your testimony, which is absolute rock star. And so before we wrap this up today, I would love for you to just share with people your heart around why this has been such a transformative process for you. Like if you could tell anybody about what this is and the experience that they will go through when they make this decision for themselves, um, paint for them the picture of what that's going to be like and why.
Um, I just feel like I've been given my life back. And just like you just mentioned that I looked all those years younger in the photograph, I can tell you that I really do feel that many years younger too. So I
Yes.
feel like it's just been given. It just gave me my life back. It gave me my health back. It took away the brain fog. Oh my. And the sleeping, my sleeping patterns. I've always been one to go to sleep early at night because I do know that's really important. And but I can tell you when I was on vacation, there were a few times that, I did partake in the cute little desserts and I just couldn't resist. And I was amazed. They had the effect on me that a night of drinking would have
Hmm.
had. They interrupted my sleep.
Yep.
2 a.m. exact time. Each time I did it, you can't go back to sleep.
Yep.
Eating food like that is such a disruption in
Mhm.
our body, in our digestive system. And intermittent fasting is something that I just will always consider a permanent for me
Yep.
because it just works for me. And I do understand now that my body really wasn't designed to be trying to digest food at all given times of the day, all different types. I literally have been wearing my organs out, all
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm not doing that anymore. And it feels good.
Yes. When your body can actually work on, creating energy and hormones and all those things we need instead of fighting off your food, you find that your energy levels go up quite a bit, especially when we can give your body fuel, actual nutrition, right? Versus toxins. And so we're not really thinking about that. So for those people that have tried the if it fits your macros, counting calories, counting carbs, and all that stuff that we've been there, done that for, or trying to like exercise off your cheesecake, it's not the way that it works.
Mm-mm, not
And
at all.
yeah, I nearly had to die doing that. And Amanda, I know you've tried all of those things too. But we have to understand that there's kind of one principle we have to follow is that our bodies were designed to eat real food. We were given everything on this earth from day one that we were supposed to ingest. So the stuff that we kind of came up and created, like flaming hot Cheetos and Sour Patch Kids, might not work very well for our body. And everything that from Diet Coke, that was one of mine. That was on like intravenous like IV for years. I don't know about you, Amanda. Did you have
Uh,
that one too?
oh yes.
Yeah.
I kind of would give that up and then bring that back aboard. And that was definitely my thing. I had to have that Diet Coke with the cake and cookies and all that sugar I was eating through the winter. Yep.
Yep.
And the more of the cookies I had, the more of the Diet Coke I wanted. And oh yeah, it
The
was a
vicious
bad roller
cycle.
coaster. Yes, very
Yes.
vicious. I'm so happy and so rested to be off of that roller coaster too.
Yes. The word that I have for that is called freedom, right?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I explain that. Like, so like, we've all been there where you're battling this and you're sucking down Diet Cokes and, craving the chocolate and the cookies and the cake or whatever, or you get a hold of a bag of chips and all of a sudden the whole thing's gone. Like, explain what that feels like to you to not have to battle that anymore. And you just said that on vacation you had some of those desserts. You had it and then you didn't feel good afterwards. So the way that you think about those is now completely different. What does it feel like to have that freedom?
Well, first, I can say that before reset, I would have never so quickly said, "Oh, it was those little cakes that made me not sleep all night. And it was those little cakes that made me feel bad the next day." I would have just wondered why I felt bad. Well, now
Right.
I know. And that was just a proof to me because I had not had sugar and I'd not had any desserts in so long and don't ever want them. But with occasion, I can't say I won't slip up and have one. But you know what? I just know that it's not fuel. And that's
Yep.
what I try to keep foremost in my mind when I eat. I'm eating for fuel.
Yes.
Entertainment and stress eating are just not something that work for me. They just don't.
Yes.
And it's not something I want in my life. So as long as I keep my mind focused on eating for fuel, that honestly has been one of my biggest tools ever.
Yes. And so what we do in the research, just to explain this feeling that Amanda, she said, like, I didn't realize, like, I wouldn't have been able to identify that it was the cakes that made me feel bad. Right. So it is the process of what we do during the first 8 weeks, which we call the losing phase, where we're doing all the right things at once to create that shift within your body. So when we do kind of redefine like our relationship with all foods and slowly start to add things back in, kind of one food group at a time, you're really able to identify if there's something that is causing you a reaction or the actual effect it has on your body. So there is the process is the fastest way that we know how to teach you that. And the most important component of that is you have to feel it. It's one thing for us to teach it to you, but you have to be able to feel it. So what she is describing is her following that process of reintroduction, and she knew exactly what it was, and she was able to feel the dramatic effect that it had, so much that it woke her up. And what that does is it changes the way that you feel about that food. So if once upon a time it was something you went to, you said the little cakes, and I was chocolate cakes, the Weight Watcher chocolate cakes, I used to like literally save all my points at the rest of the, like to eat as many as I could at the end of the day. I literally motivated myself to do it that way. I'm sure I'm not alone in that. But like that was my false sense of pleasure. It was until I was able to remove those things and try something like that again that I was able to feel that impact, so much so that when you're, presented with something like that, you're like, yeah, I really don't want to feel like that again. So the thing that you used to use to cope, to get through the emotional time, like you shared, you know, now you know that it makes you feel worse. Better in the moment because you are anticipating the way that it used to feel. But now you know the impact that it has on your body. You can actually feel that again. And some people are like, well, why couldn't I feel it before? That's because the messages were so mixed and the environment was so toxic that you couldn't tell which thing was causing the food reaction because there were so many things, like your body just adapted to it. So you have to kind of buy that back with time and elimination. And that's what we do. We help people get there the fastest. And it's a very powerful part of the process because you have to be able to feel what Amanda is talking about. Feel that inflammation coming off your body, feel your energy going up, feel your sleep getting better, your skin glowing, the chronic pain going away,
Mhm.
and the control that you have when you're not just being like, I just felt like it was a magnet pulling me towards those foods. And when that like just gets way easier, and then you do choose to have something, you feel the consequences, it becomes a whole lot easier to choose the abundant, beautiful, wonderful foods that you don't have to count, measure, or whatever. And you can feel amazing too. I love that, Amanda. Well, what would be the final thing that you could share with people? Like, what should they do if they want to know more about, like, what do you think that they should do? What would you have them do?
For getting started,
Yes, if they're interested in this, like what would you tell them to think about? What would be your best advice?
just wanting to experience the same freedom with their health and just the way they look and feeling proud of how they look and not feeling like we need to hide in the corner, just being proud and just experiencing everything that comes along with it. And I have to say, I love my reset family. There are so many people in our family that I have never personally met, but I feel like I know them and have known them for years because
Yeah.
we're all so connected. And I love, love, love the connection that we all have, and we all can uh, just understand what we're going through because we've all done it. And it
Yes,
also, I think it lightens the load.
for sure.
Not that we want to know other people are going through bad or tough times, but it does help when someone else is going through what you're going through. I think that's just a natural instinct.
Yes.
Um, so just know that the support is always, always, and it's genuine. It is, there is nothing fake, nowhere, no how with this program. It is
Yes.
all real. It Yeah, it is everything. I highly encourage all my friends, all my family to join the Reset family. In fact, I do have a family member that not long after my um, Reset losing phase did join with me, and
Oh,
she has done amazing, Miss Sandra Miles. So I'm
yes,
excited.
she has. Yes, she's had amazing transformation too. Maybe this is tag. She's it. She needs to come on here and do another transformation
Yes,
Tuesday as
she
well.
does. Yes,
Because
she does.
that's
And
what
we
this is
both have
about.
had so much stress in our life
Yes.
while we were doing. So there are no excuses, folks. There's no excuses. I mean, if anybody had excuses, Sandra and Amanda did, but we did
Mhm.
not allow those to lead us astray. We stayed on the path, and we're
Yes.
still there.
Yes. And knowing that you can do that and it can become easy while you're doing that is that's the power because we can all make excuses but the only good time to start is now.
Mhm,
And what we have to think about oftentimes is, people see these amazing transformations and they think, well, they can do it, but I can't.
mhm.
Well, what we know is, and what you everybody that says on the reset is if I can do it, you can, because we
Absolutely.
know how stubborn we are. We know, what we had to learn in order to get past this, and it can be so much easier than you think.
Well, and I tell you, the one fact that'll capture you quicker than anything, and this is terrible to even say this, but you don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to run a marathon. You
Yes.
actually have to do the opposite. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. So I really want to stress that is that
Yes.
your body is at a time of healing. It needs to be resting as if we had the flu. We need lots of liquids and lots of rest during this healing. And so that is a game changer. When
Yeah.
I was recently on my trip, I'm out bicycling for the day through the resort. It is hot and I'm sweating. And I ride by the gym. I see the sign out front and I'm like, you know what? I think I might go in there. I need some air conditioning. I am hot.
That's funny. So you went to the gym to like get some rest and some air conditioning instead of going into workout. I love it. Well, and it changes that for sure. Because we're not saying that working out is bad, but when you don't have to tackle all of that at once and you're in a place where you don't even feel like you have enough energy to get out of bed, then that's not where you have to start. We have to start with the place that it should be the first step for everyone, and that's food and understanding how to fuel the way that this machine works. It needs the right fuel to go in it, just like you wouldn't put Pepsi in your Ferrari because it doesn't run on that. So you have to be able to put that real good fuel in there. Well, Amanda, you are such an inspiration and you just exemplify what the reset is about. Because you're, courageous to be able to share your story. Like you said, you haven't done that ever.
Ever.
Because now you know that you believe in this, you know that this is your way of life. You've helped someone in your family, Sandra, join. And I know people are going to be watching this and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, like I haven't seen her in a while, or Amanda, tell me what you're wanting to do. And that's our message. It's our mission and it's our heart. And I know my fellow practitioner, Holly, who's a good friend of Amanda's as well, this is how we were all able to be connected, is that is our heart. Our heart is for you all to come along on our journey with us. This is, my quest in losing over 100 pounds, nearly dying, doing, overcome infertility, Hashimoto, celiac disease, and the list of things that grows and grows and grows. What we as humanity ought to do is we have to learn how to get back to eating real food. And in the world that we live in, that seems tough when there's lines around every fast food place and all of that with, convenience food and toxic food easier to find than real food, it seems. We can show you how it can be way easier than you think, way faster than you think, and the community that's doing it with you makes the work 10 times easier. It is just the way God designed our bodies, and we can honor our lives by doing that, and it's so worth it. And so, Amanda, I just want to thank you for sharing your inspirational story today. So, if you're watching this, make sure that you give Amanda some love in the comments, or if she's sharing this recording with you, thank her for doing that, because when people have an opportunity to know better, they can do better. And one of the things that I thought is that I thought I knew what to do. And intellectually, we know we should eat better, like eat more vegetables, eat less cookies, right?
That's
But the
it. I want
reality
all
is,
I want all my friends to know too that I am here for you. I will show you how to cook, how to grocery shop. We'll do all that together. I'll walk you through it. And I want to share it with everybody because I am that helper and fixer. It does work. So please reach out. Please get in touch
Yes,
with me because I'm here for you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is our mission, just to help you learn. We have to unlearn a lot.
Yeah.
And we want this to make sense to you. And the thing that no one ever taught us is, how do we create health?
Hmm.
The focus can't be weight loss. The weight is a symptom, and we learn how to create health in the body and what the body needs. And we learn why and how, and we do that together. That it is that secret sauce of doing all the right things at once that helps make this shift that is hard to do alone easy to do together. Okay. So definitely reach out to Amanda. You can always go to resetwithmiranda.com, and there's a button there that says apply, and you can book a call. We can get on a call for free. And that's how we get you started, just like we did with Amanda. And, in just 8 weeks, most of our people lose 20 to 30 pounds. Amanda definitely did that. And she's in our lifestyle program and making this a forever way of life. And so, Amanda, thank you so much for sharing your journey. And thank you to everybody that chose to take the time to watch today and supporting Amanda on her journey. It means the world to us. Share this with people who need to hear it, who sound like Amanda, or if you're like Amanda, then book that call, reach out to her, reach out to myself or Holly, and we'll make sure that we can find a way to share this information so that you can get started on your own transformation too. Thanks so much, Amanda.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And thank you, everybody, for all the wonderful comments. I really appreciate the support, as it always is there. Thank you.
We love you so, so much. Everybody have a great day and enjoy the rest of this amazing Transformation Tuesday. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.